r/TumblrInAction, otherwise known as the demonetization magnet. Oh, okay, that's a way to begin. I'm white, but I get where you're coming from. I hate white people too. What do you get off from hating your own race? I've never understood that. Why would you want to cuck to somebody else by saying, oh, I'm so awful, look at my skin color? That doesn't make you virtuous, it just makes you look like you're trying hard to have other, minority friends. Get a backbone and stop diminishing your own race. That's messed up. It's really strange. But Ailurus, that first post wasn't from Tumblr! Yeah, this subreddit started to showcase other takes that just have that Tumblr energy, so you're gonna see a lot of Twitter and Tumblr here. Men who love men is a rather misleading term, considering most men don't feel love. Duh, it's mostly a sexual desire, most of which is abusive and predatory. This goes for straight men too. Well, the woman on the internet said it. If you're gay and you have a boyfriend, you don't actually love him, you just like having sex with them. It's funny seeing these daddy issue women really try to curtail society. It's really a treat to see these people use their issues to justify their hatred against men. But hey, at least they're being consistent. They're hating on straight and gay men. But it's kind of ironic, because they're posting about how much they don't like men and how much they think that they're abusive and predatory on a platform that was developed by a guy. Cannibalism is only bad because Western culture has demonized it. It's not even illegal in the US, and most of the time, there's solid cultural reasons. Yeah, you're right, cannibalism isn't illegal in the United States, but I'm gonna give you a little bit of a thought question. How do you do a cannibalism? Just gonna let y'all think on that for a little bit, I'll give you a few seconds, Murder! You have to kill somebody. Last time I checked, we're not all Kirby and we just don't inhale people. You have to murder somebody in order to eat them. With all that being said, I just don't understand cultural relativism. The fact that this person's going to bend over backwards to say that cultures eating their own people are somehow comparable or worthy of respect as Western culture is astounding. Cultural relativism as a concept is dumb. Some cultures are simply better than others. And it really shouldn't be politically incorrect to say so. I mean, there's just some nations that I would never want to live in and I have no respect for their culture, simply because they're violent. Hashtag I was blamed, and yet the backlash when we talk about male violence is met with women do it too, or not all men. Yes, all men, because every single male on the planet benefits from that. Oh, okay, I don't even want to read the rest. This is ridiculous. First off, it's a take from Julie Bindel. Like, no one really cares what she has to say anymore because all of it is hate all men suck. But the fact that people are willing to listen to people like her and actually agree with her statements really goes to show how much hatred people really have for men. Like, seriously, reading this tweet just brought me back to 2014, 2015 when everybody was kind of getting into that anti-feminist sphere. Anti-SJW YouTube was such a nice time. That was so perfect. 2014 through like 2016, good years. Here, since you don't know what the definition of racism is, see, it can be anyone, not just white people. No, you can be racist, minorities cannot, therefore you're wrong. It's funny because the definition of racism on Merriam-Webster was just changed so that I guess only white people can be racist, which is ridiculous. It's the prejudice plus power definition. It's absolutely ridiculous. Anybody can be racist. Anybody can. That's what the definition of racism used to be, or just what everybody understands to be. Let's just make it simple. And it's kind of ironic to designate one definition to a specific race. Wouldn't that be kind of racist? Personally, I like that we say, oh man, to express disappointment, because men are disappointing. I smell a whole lot of cope. If this is truly how she feels about men, I just feel sorry for her. She must have experienced a terrible childhood, knowing that her dad would never love her. But in all seriousness, I'm almost certain that nobody really thinks like this. Seriously, if your ideology is hinged upon the hatred and disparagement of men, then in reality you really don't have an ideology. This type of belief system has been laughed at and clowned on for I think 5 or maybe 6 years now, and it's been great, only because the source of all of these ideologies have been easily and simply pointed out. The fact that these women actually feel this way is just because they've had terrible experiences with men in the past. And by terrible experiences, I don't mean actually terrible, criminal experiences. I'm talking about, oh, the boy that I liked said I was ugly because I was 250 pounds. All of my male professors teach hard subjects like math and science and not subjects that I understand like lesbian dance theory. Stuff like that. Difficulties like that. Y'all can be mad about it, but sex offender friendly, oh no. No, they are not more chill, they're not less racist, there are not easier or safer places to live in by default. No, what? What? The fact that you guys even have neighborhoods is astounding and disgusting. The first thing I think about when I hear sex offender friendly neighborhoods is not about its low racist rates, or even in this person's opinion, low crime rates or safety. I don't care about that at all. The fact that sex offenders are living together is just awful. You guys should be under the prison. Still, don't tell me that cis male privilege isn't real when there are literally urinals on the streets and everyone else is expected to hold it. How much of it is a privilege? I mean, I was born with these parts. Sorry that I have tools that help me out. I mean, why is this even an issue? Why does this bother you that there's urinals outside? There's public toilets everywhere. Seriously, if you need to use the bathroom, just go to a public park. I hate when a cover of a song, a cover artist changes the lyrics because it doesn't match up with their personal sexuality or gender. You don't get to just change the song because of your fragile masculinity. One, it's not fragile masculinity to not want people to think you're gay. For example, I really like the song Juicy by Doja Cat. If I wanted to make a cover of that song, I would definitely have to change the lyrics because she is explicitly talking about how she wants to get fucked by a guy. Oh, but it gets even better because she shares a little example of a Sia cover that some dude did, and she didn't like the way that the guy changed the lyrics. It's not even that bad of a change, he just doesn't want to wear heels. And you're making fun of him for not wanting to wear heels? What world do we live in? Could you imagine living in a society where being masculine is bad? Where people are encouraging you to wear heels and be feminine, something that most dudes, I'm almost certain, are uncomfortable with? Prostitute is a slur. Stop using it. Sex worker is what you mean, so just say like that. Oh man, I'm gonna have a field day with this one. Let's go. Stop saying hoe if you're not a sex worker. No, I will continue. That's exactly what you are. I am not asking. If I catch even a whiff of whorephobia from any of y'all, especially as an actual whore myself, you'll be removed and blocked without hesitation. Wow, you're gonna block me for calling you what you call yourself? I don't understand. Prostitute, whore, hooker, hoe are all slurs, unless you're a sex worker. They should stay out of your mouth. Ah, so you are those things. You are a prostitute, whore, hooker, and a hoe, because you're a sex worker. So if you're not, then I can't say that. But if you are, you embody those things. I understand. So you embody all degeneracy. I totally get it. Sex worker is an umbrella term and more accurate when you're trying to talk about folks engaged in sexual acts in exchange for necessity and such. Wow, they said necessity and not money. Last time I checked, sexual validation and drugs weren't necessities. Oh, my favorite part of all of this is this. In regards to using hoe, only black FSSW or full service sex worker are allowed to use this term. That's golden, that's great. But I'm just gonna break this down simply so we can get to the next post. Sex work is not real work, it's just simply degenerate. If you had marketable skills and moderate intelligence, you can pursue literally any career. Yet you chose the socially inept and easy option of selling your body. We live in a society where we have the proper expectation that women have more to bring to the table than just their bodies, that they actually have marketable skills and abilities that are valuable to society. Encouraging young women to sell their bodies on the internet OnlyFans only serves to diminish their future prospects. We should really be encouraging young women now to actually pursue things that are marketable and valuable, like the STEM fields. We need more women there, so go ahead and pursue that and stop popping that pussy online. Men should have curfews so women can go out at night. It's kind of funny because most violent crime is committed against men. So let's say in your matriarch utopia there is a curfew for men. That curfew would protect us more than it would protect you. And also, what's stopping us from harming you or committing violence against y'all during the daytime? You fucking idiot. I just want to say, it's extremely frustrating bringing up support for men in a valid situation and all these girls just tag pages that are like, but did you get picked, sis? The pick me signal has been lit, pick me ass bitch. It's so apparent that women genuinely cannot fathom the fact that some women truly support men and men's issues. It's just pathetic how feminists say they support women, but once they come out and say men have issues, they really can't stand it. I don't know who needs to hear this, but D&D is a far right-wing conservative fantasy with a coat of paint on it. They just worm into everything, every hobby, every fandom, every interest that anyone can have. SJWs just invade the space and ruin it. They add their ideology, they bring all their baggage and all of their just mental issues and just ruin a hobby. Believe it or not, Steven Universe, Undertale, Pokemon TCG, and the video game were all nice fandoms at one point. and then all of a sudden these people just invade Bulbapedia, or they go into Steven Universe and nearly have somebody commit suicide, or they go into Undertale and just destroy that fandom. It's gone. Hey, so fun story. The only reason why I was ever scared of going out was because my abusive mother convinced me for years that all men were rapists and would kill me just because I was a young and a woman. Surprise! She only did that in order to make me scared of men so I wouldn't get a boyfriend and leave her someday, and to prevent me from going out all of my teenage years, and it actually worked. So I guess what I'm trying to say is if anyone tries to convince you that 50% of the population is out there trying to hurt you, and they're the only good guys that will protect you, they're probably not good. I knew this was gonna happen. I had a subconscious check of everybody on Twitter who I knew was gonna have a problem with this. When Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the trailer dropped, I was like, yes, this game checks all the checks for people being upset. There's a white dude protagonist. It's in Europe. White people. Like, it's all the things that people dislike. So I was just ready. And you see this, people saying that it's already a white supremacist train wreck, and you can tell that they never played any of the other games, because literally Assassin's Creed 3 was about a Native American, and then there's Assassin's Creed Origins, which takes place in Egypt. And then you realize that the game began in the Middle East. That's where the game started. And then you realize that people have takes on games that they've never played, and then you go ahead and uninstall Twitter because you're like, Twitter is the reason why my IQ goes down 1 point every month. Homosexuals are not allowed in LGBT spaces because they're just as bland as cis-hets. They shouldn't be allowed because they're men. Sorry, gay guys who are watching right now and are just as confused as me. You're no longer part of the alphabet crew because you're men. But no, it's okay. You have friends. You can go ahead and join the bisexuals and the pansexuals who got kicked out of the LGBT crew because they can be heterosexual, and we don't like those. We don't like heterosexual. Hey, I think it's time we all fucking delete, because I just had this experience in real life. You can't be a lesbian if you're not sexually or romantically attracted to women. Why not? Men are downright cruel to people they don't find attractive. Women are not. But wait, you're a big old hypocrite, because 2 months before you said no one gives a fuck what an ugly has to say, which is kind of funny. But all jokes aside, I hate when people say stuff like this, like, oh, men are the biggest cheaters and women only cheat because they want a better man. Men only cheat because they're off. Why do you do that? Why do you do this? You're literally creating division for no reason. You're starting a fight and people are gonna call you out on your bad statements. I don't understand why. Your takes are dumb. I would read this out loud, but I want to make sure this video is available to you guys and not, thrown down in the algorithm because he says that. So, yeah, imagine hating your race and hating your mixed race identity so much that you're willing to put down an entire race. You want to get rid of an entire race because you don't like your identity and you don't like yourself. And the guy who responded is totally correct. Like, whoa, chill, bro. You're literally half Caucasian and you live in Utah. Like, it's genuinely disconcerting to see people just disavow and strip themselves of their own identities just because they want to feel good and virtuous about being privileged and then disavowing said privilege, which doesn't move the needle in any way. Yeah, you could say, wow, it really sucks to be wealthy, but I'm still gonna live in my mansion. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Ooh, this is a throwback when everybody was comparing Kim Yo-jong to Azula. That had me rolling. I'm like, they are literally the same person. Then you have just geniuses like this who completely miss the comparison and think that it's just a racist caricature. This shows how deep and pathological racism runs with white people. Just a few common features with absolutely no resemblance, but more insidiously, the comments on Kim Yo-jong's stoicism and culture of not making a crude show of emotions is interpreted by most as cold cruelty. She's literally the sister of Kim Jong-un. That's the whole point, is that's the comparison. They're both little sisters of really just awful people. That's it. That's the comparison. Nobody was trying to make a commentary about Asian women and their stoicism. People were just talking about how awful these two people are and how their characters essentially match up. No one was trying to make a racial statement. People are sitting around calling Kim Yo-jong a queen or a power lesbian and comparing her to Azula and making fan cams of her, and she's been complicit in the oppression, starvation, torture, and state of terror that has been imposed on the North Korean people. She's fucking evil. Shut the fuck up with your girl boss shit. Any of you freaks connected to reality in the slightest, she's not a fictional character you can call your evil wife. She's a real person who's responsible for the suffering of real people. And to end today's video, I give you a gem of a take. Yes, Layla Morgan was wrong to attack her partner, but domestic violence by women is not the same as domestic violence by men. Yep, if she hits you with a frying pan and calls you trash, it isn't the same as you hitting her with a frying pan and calling her trash, because you would go to jail. She gets an article on a really terrible website. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ailurus, aka Panda Daddy, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you did, let me know in the comments down below, and leave a like if you liked the video. And if you're new to my channel, go ahead and subscribe, fam. What you doing watching videos and not subscribing? And if you're old, make sure to hit that bell so you get these notifications every time. I was apprehensive doing this video, but I meant to do it a long time ago when I started the Fat Logic series. I wanted to have Fat Logic and TumblrInAction, you know, both being my forays into this Reddit world, and I just never, you know, went along with it. But if you have other recommendations and other requests for different Reddit content, let me know in the comments down below. If you want me to try this again, let me know in the comments down below. If you want to request any horror stories content, go ahead and do that on the Patreon and the comments down below. And speaking of the Patreon, thank you to Canned Eggplant, Postmar, Finny, Rachel, Taki, Willbilly, Dustin, and Bunny Boo. Thank you so much for your support. It is greatly appreciated. And as always, stay zesty.